Can the Justice Department Inspector General initiate this investigation on his own? Does he have the authority to do that?
He certainly has the authority to do it with a complaint from Congress, and he has done it before with an independence and assertiveness that I think is really important. I also think that we need to consider other options like the power of the purse, which both the House and the Senate have. But there is no sugarcoating this crisis. We are in the minority in the Senate, and what we need is a majority of senators who have a respect for the rule of law. We need a house cleaning in the United States Senate. And the ultimate court of appeals here is the court of public opinion, the ballot box.
We have some breaking news reporting from the Washington Post tonight about the president's condition, you might call it. It says Trump, simmering with rage, fixated on exacting revenge against those he feels betrayed him and insulated by a compliant Republican Party, is increasingly comfortable doing so to the point of feeling untouchable, according to the president's advisors and allies, indicating that the president is indulging his anger. And this includes the Mueller investigation, which this case was a part of, the Roger Stone case.
Lawrence, it is almost impossible to exaggerate the crisis that we face here. Simmering rage from a president who is unleashed and untethered to the law. On the Morning Joe program this morning, Joe Scarborough asked if the president can investigate any journalists, could he arrest us tomorrow? And the truth is, every American is potentially in danger of this kind of retribution and revenge if the president uses the justice system as a tool of political or personal vengeance. And that kind of crisis is deeply dangerous. It's ugly. It violates the ethos of the Department of Justice for the Attorney General to be the president's political henchman.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.